I gotta close the window before I record, cause New York don't know how to be quiet. Word. Stand up. Word. Third. Coochie down to the socks like I'm Biggie Papa. Baby.
All right, and we're back. Episode number 2.
We're back, baby. To all the 54 listeners, thank you for the views.
Yeah, tell your friends. Just as a refresher, I'm Nick Fine.
I'm Wesley Duke.
This is a Totally Rad Podcast, where we just talk about, oh, he's got the potion.
So good.
Where we just talk about some random stuff, but I mean, we're going to try and be a little more organized this time because we got people telling us.
It's episode 2. No one gives a shit.
Well, yeah, we'll
see.
Yeah.
I think we can start off on the basis of how we're both pretty triggered starting off this episode. Do you want to start first or should I?
You can start.
All right. Well, today I've just been doing a lot of work. You know, I feel like coming over to the podcast would give me like a little bit of time to relax. By work, I meant just mainly yard work. And like I had to mow the lawn, which is, I don't really care about that. But I have this old playhouse in my backyard, and it is a bitch to mow around. It is the worst. So today we decided to take it down, and I took a sledgehammer to it, and I'm going to use all of that extra wood for my fire pit. And then, that didn't really trigger me. If anything, it felt pretty good to tear it down, because I've been wanting to get rid of that for years. But I went to the nearest gas station before I came here to get a large soda for like $1 or something. I saw it was on sale. First of all, I knew it was going to be trouble because I saw like 4 or 5 8 to 10-year-olds running around with no mommy or daddy, just running around the gas station. I'm like, all right, it's about to be one of these days. All right. And I'm getting my drink, and a kid cuts in front of me, and I'm like, there's two that you can go to. You don't have to go in front of me. You can get your pop at a different one. That's all right. I'm like, all right, whatever. So I scoot over to the next one, and I fill up my cup, and I look over to grab a lid because they're only on one side. And this kid, I see him struggling to reach the top of the lid container. He knocks it down, and all these lids just come falling down on him. And then he runs out. So it looks like I spilled the lids. And I was like, fuck. So I was like, whatever. So I helped the employee clean up the lids, grabbed myself a lid, and then I finally just paid for it and came over here. And it took us like, what time is it? About 2 hours to set this thing up.
Yeah, it took us forever. That's like the main reason that I'm triggered. So I really didn't do too much today. I went and saw a track meet and then went to Best Buy and got a new mic. So hopefully the audio is a lot better than last time.
You sound sexier than last time.
Oh, yeah. That's what I was going for. But then we couldn't remember how we set up the mic so that we could like hear each other talk and all that and stuff. So then it took us forever to set it up. But here we are.
I know. We wrote it down this time.
Yeah, I got it on a piece of paper, old-fashioned, no way it goes away. So
unless someone throws it away or shreds it.
I will fight them if they do that.
Don't make me spill this pop in your room.
Again.
Yeah.
Wait, the first time was my fault.
Yeah, first time was your fault. Hold up.
It's all right.
Get off me.
Oh, yeah. So last podcast, we got people saying that we were using some slang.
Your dad?
From the newer days. And I realized,
I don't know what we said.
I don't know.
Slang?
But
just a couple things.
I realized we've been saying that we were triggered. And for everybody who doesn't know what that means, it just basically means like you get into a situation where you're just getting super irritated, but you can't really do anything about it.
No.
You just have to kind of keep experimenting to see what solutions come out. So that's what triggered means. And if we catch ourselves saying any other slang, we'll try and explain it.
Yeah, Nick's dad will explain it.
We'll get you up to speed on the hip lingo.
What the cool kids are saying
He
these
did give
days.
us a very good idea, though.
Oh, yeah.
About bringing, like, because Totally Rad's obviously, like, a old term,
Mm-hmm.
which is from the 80s. And so bringing somebody on here that grew up in those times, like, to explain kind of what they used to say, and then we can say what we say now. So
Yeah. My mom got so excited when I started a podcast. She wanted to come on. I'm like,
I told my mom today
We'll
that the idea about bringing like a kid that grew up in the 80s on here, and she was like, yeah, like when you guys say chill out or something like that, we'd be like, oh, don't have a cow, man. And I was like,
a cow?
Yeah, and I was like,
What?
that's the cringiest thing that I've ever heard in my life.
How does a cow fit into that?
I don't know. They're like, don't have a cow. Apparently they said that.
She should have said, I don't have any ice to chill out. That would have been better.
Yeah,
My voice just cracked. I don't know if you heard that.
I
Shouldn't have
did,
any
but
ice.
thanks for pointing it out. Icy.
Ice, baby.
Dun, 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 dun.
Dude, that was my jam growing up. I got a radio for my birthday in elementary school, and my mom gave me, like, Vanilla Ice's greatest hits. And number 1 was Ice, Ice Baby, and I didn't listen to the rest.
What's the rest? I thought he was
his song in Ninja Turtles.
Go Ninja, go
Ninja, go.
Yeah, I got you.
And then, like, I don't know, he was in a movie in the 80s or 90s, so it had all of those songs that he did, but I didn't listen to that.
Okay, so I was going to work the other day, and I remember last podcast we talked about, since we just started talking about music, how 1985, the intro to the Fall Off on J. Cole's new album,
Yeah.
is like pretty much a diss track.
Kind of, but not really at the same time.
Yeah, and I wasn't really paying attention to it too much. I was just kind of doing my thing, listening to it in my headphones, and then I actually started kind of listening to the lyrics, and like it's funny to how much truth there is behind it. He's like, oh, if you just spend all your money on like cars and jewelry, in a few years when you fall off,
You have to sell that shit back.
Yeah, because you're not gonna have a house to live in or anything to support you besides cars and jewelry.
Yeah. I kind of talking about that. So, you know who Nicolas Cage is, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
National treasure.
Okay, well, no. You know how he's in a bunch of garbage movies? I was thinking to myself, I'm like, why doesn't this guy retire? I'm like, he's been in so many movies and he's won like an Oscar, I think. I'm like, this dude has a bunch of money. I'm like, why is he still taking these shitty movies? Yeah, it turns out he owns the IRS like a ton of money because he was like terrible with how he spent his money for movies. Like he has like dinosaur bones or something like that. But I saw that he had to give those back. He has like all these cars. Yeah, like he has, I think like 2 castles or some shit. It's insane.
He seems like the type of person that like they're like, all right, we're doing this movie. Here's what we project it to be. Here's what we project your salary to be from it.
A lot
then
of
he
his
goes out and spends that
yeah.
and more.
Mm-hmm.
And then the movies don't make that much money. And then he's just like,
I think that's I think because he used to be a blockbuster star, and nowadays like all of his movies are just on Netflix, and they look so bad.
Yeah, like the National Treasure.
Oh,
Did they make 3 of those?
they made 2. I only remember because
Too
I only saw
many.
one. I don't think they were that bad. I think the second one was pretty bad, but the first one is pretty it's funny watching them.
Isn't he in Gone in 60 Seconds?
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty good movie.
Yeah, so is The Rock.
The Rock just went from Gone in 60 Seconds to Fast and Furious.
Yeah, well, The Rock is a movie also.
Yeah.
With Nicolas Cage.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying like
No.
The Rock is also in Gone in 60
no.
Seconds.
No. He wasn't even acting then, I think. I think he was still a champion at fake wrestling.
Hey, there were children listening to this. Just kidding. I
I
hope
mean,
not.
super realistic wrestling.
But yeah, what other music has there been? Kanye with Lift Yourself.
Ooh. I haven't listened to it because I've just heard so much about it. I'm like, I don't need to listen to it. I know what it's about.
Well, I'm sure whatever you've heard about it is probably pretty accurate.
Poopity scoopity.
Yeah, pretty much. That's the rap verse. Like,
Yeah.
I was listening to it when we were playing Fortnite the other night.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, the singing's good at the beginning. And then he's like, and then this first verse, and he starts, and he's just like, scoopity poop bop a doop blah blah, and then it's the song started over.
He's the scat man.
And I was like, wait, what do you mean? They're like, there's no actual rap in this thing.
Yeah, I haven't really been listening to any music, like any new music.
I know. I've been actually going backwards. I've been listening to like old Kanye before he went insane.
He went lyrically. Before he was a lyrical genius with Poopity Scoopity. See, he might be speaking in tongues. We don't know yet.
Yeah, and then I've been listening to Marky Basie, who's always pretty good. Skizzy Mars, Logic.
Yeah. I just listened to Damn again.
Yeah.
It's a great album besides Good Kid, Mad City. And then I have an XM radio, and I have a Beatles channel in my car, so I've been listening to some of their... Like, they don't play a lot of their hits. They play a lot of the stuff that people may not be aware of, so I kind of like that. Because I haven't listened to every Beatles album ever, so, like, I've missed a lot of the small songs that are on their records and stuff, so I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, because usually when you have those channels that are, like, specifically one artist, it's like, okay, we're going to play their top 100 hits or whatever, and they don't really go into, like, the deeper, not well-known stuff, so...
Yeah. Like, there's a lot of stuff where I'm surprised that it wasn't on the radio or something like that, or... You know what just came to my mind?
What?
So we were talking about rappers a little bit earlier.
Yep.
6ix9ine, everybody's favorite rapper, is beefing with Danielle Bergoli. Catch Me Outside Girl, how about that?
Are they...
If you don't know her, she was that redheaded little girl who's on Dr. Phil, who's now a rapper, I guess.
Yeah, and she claims that she made Dr. Phil famous.
You know what, bitch? I was famous before you came on my show.
Are they beefing in, like, the fucking welfare line, or...
I mean...
in line for food stamps?
Nah, they're just taking shots at each other, and no one's gonna do shit.
Yeah, those are the two, like...
I mean, Danielle Bergoli did punch Woah Vicky in the back of the head.
They look the exact same.
Yeah.
I'm black.
Did you see her hoodie?
Uh-uh.
It was, like, tightened around her face like she's Pedro from Napoleon Dynamite. It was tightened around her head. And she's like, what's good? I'm like, what's good with you, you damn looking alien?
So I came home, but I was still hot.
So then I shaved my head. That's what it reminded me of. Like, her hoodie was just tightly wrapped around her head.
Oh, yeah. For everybody who doesn't know who Woah Vicky is, it's the girl that...
Thank God you don't know who she is.
Yeah, lucky you. But anyways, anybody who doesn't know who she is, she's the person that went on Ancestry.com and found out she was, like,
1% black. And she's a full white girl.
Yep.
So now she talk like this all the time. I'm black. I'm a beautiful black woman.
I was watching this one video where these guys were, like, watching one of her videos, and they were like...
You watched a video of a video?
Yeah, they were, like, making fun of it.
Oh, okay.
And they were like, she says that or something, or she says something stupid, and then he was like, This water might be milk, but I'm still lactose intolerant.
I don't know, but also Bad Baby, or that's what she calls herself, Danielle Bergoli. She released a music video with Lil Yachty and David Spade, which was weird. Like, David Spade was like the milkman or something in the video. I don't know why I watched it. I saw like Lil Yachty and I'm like, no. And then I saw David Spade. I'm like, no.
I mean, if you think about it, David Spade and Adam Sandler, all those old comedians or older comedians that are getting up there are getting to the point where they're like at the same spot in their career.
They'll do
Adam
anything
Sandler
for money.
Still makes movies.
But they're only on Netflix.
Yeah, and then David Spade's over here just scrounging for money in a fucking cringy ass video.
Yeah. I haven't seen an Adam Sandler movie since Jack and Jill.
He has a new one on
Netflix with Chris Rock.
Yeah, it's like the week of or something like that.
Yeah, it's a wedding movie.
But then he also has another one with David Spade that's called The Do-Over.
Oh, yeah, I skipped that. It was like recommended. I'm like, nope.
I actually watched it. It wasn't horrible. I mean,
okay.
Jack and Jill was worse.
Dude, I don't know why I went to the theater to see that movie when it came out. That was the worst decision I made in my adolescent life.
The only person that can dress like a woman and pull it off is John Travolta.
From Hairspray?
From Hairspray.
Damn. That's a unique reference right there. Taking it all the way back.
All the way back.
I thought you were going to say like Bruce Jenner or something like that.
Is she pulling that off? Or I didn't think that was pulling it off.
Yeah, I'll give her props.
Well, a lot of people say that she just did it for attention. And
can't go back now.
Yeah. Went under the knife for attention. That's dedication.
Dude, that is some dedication. Just to get the ratings up on Keeping with the Kardashians. Our ratings are going down. Bruce, didn't you say something like you feel like a woman? Yeah. We're going to use that.
Yeah, when I was singing that song. I feel like a woman. Bruce, didn't you say that like a couple years ago? I don't remember, but I guess.
I mean, if it'll put the ratings up, sure.
Whoa. You didn't say my nuts would come off for the ratings to go up?
Oh, no. It's all jokes over here. Oh, we saw Avengers. We can talk about that.
Yeah. Should we wait till the end, though? Because if we spoil a lot of stuff, I don't.
Yeah,
wanna
you
do
can't.
that.
Like, you can't talk about them. Okay, here's the non-spoilers. It's good. Go see it. We'll talk about it more at the end. Because there's no way we can talk about it without ruining it.
I haven't. Oh, another movie I wanted to see, but I haven't had a chance to see it yet is A Quiet Place.
Yeah, we need to see that. We were gonna see it, but then plans fell through, and then the weather got really shitty, so we couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah, but now finally the weather's nice.
I know.
Wow, this is so dumb. Why are we talking about the weather right now?
I didn't start this. Oh, wait, I did start this conversation. I'm the worst human being for talking about the weather right now. we should talk about our trip to Tennessee last spring break.
That was a great trip.
Yeah, minus the homeless encounter. It was a great trip.
Oh, do you want to tell the homeless encounter story?
All right, sure. So, us and a couple friends went to Tennessee for spring break. Was it the first or second day that we were there that this happened?
Like the second.
Okay, yeah. So it's the second day, and we're walking around Nashville, just looking for some lunch because we're in Nashville. Like, we got to get some good grub. And we're walking around for a little bit, and, like, there's this giant party going around. Like, it was a celebration or a parade of some sort going down in the city. So we're walking around, just exploring like Dora would. And Dora the Explorer.
Without a map, though.
Yeah, without a map and a talking backpack. And all of a sudden, this homeless guy, I don't know how he got our attention. I think, we were at a crosswalk, and we couldn't go anywhere. So he's like, now's my chance. And I saw him walking up. I'm like, okay, it's gonna be this encounter. All right. And so we were all just prepared to give him money because it's like, might as well,
Well, yeah,
it wouldn't hurt.
We figured that it was like he was gonna walk up and be like, "Yo, hey, can I have some money?" Like
it turned into a preaching,
like a Catholic mass. 3 hours later, we're done, and he's asking us for money. Like
yeah, like we first of all, he's not even paying attention to us. He's paying attention to our other friend, and he starts touching me. He's like, yo, you, like, I don't know what he was saying. I know he mentioned, he's like, man, all I got on me is a wallet with no money, no cards, and a flip phone. And he pulls out his phone. I'm like, well, you're doing better than most right now. Like, I'll give you props. You're doing better than most. And he's pointing to our other friend, and he's like, man, something, God, Jesus. And he just started preaching, which I don't mind. Just express your religion however you want. Go for it. But then, like, our friend JT, he's wearing a necklace, and so he starts tugging on the necklace a bit. We're like, oh shit.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I was about to be like, yo, we're gonna clock this dude.
You would have clocked. I would have just taken a couple steps back and walked away.
Because this dude was like reaching up
and like grabbing net. Like, he was touching us a little too much, and it was getting a little uncomfortable. He didn't like grab us by the willy. Like, don't get that impression.
Yeah, not
like, it was
that
just
kind of touch.
A little shoulder tap, and that was about it. But
it was like how like if you know someone well and you're like talking to them, you'll like put your hand on their shoulder, bicep or something like that. Yeah, that's like, it was like him acting like he knew us a lot better than he did, and he was like putting his hand on our arm and stuff. Anyways, he like reaches up to straighten out JT's necklace, but it looked like he was about to yank it off and split, which, I mean, it wasn't like it was a gold chain or anything.
No, but still.
Yeah, so then I was like, if this dude tries something funny, I'm definitely clocking him.
Yeah. And then...
Shouts to the homeless guy in Nashville.
Dude, no, he's a good guy. But
if you're listening. Oh, wait. Flip phone.
Yeah, he had a flip phone. But, so we're with a giant group, and so, like, we're kind of split up into different groups walking around the city. And one of the groups comes up, and they see us, and they're like, hey, y'all need help? I'm like, yeah, call us over in, like, a minute or two if this guy's not done. I'm like, just call us over across the street, and we'll give him the money, and we'll walk over. Because it's like, we might as well give this guy money before we leave anyways. They don't call us over. We're stuck there for, like, another 10 minutes, like, listening to this guy. And I'm just waiting, and finally they call us over again. Or they finally call us over, like, 20 minutes later. Because they were just screwing with us, watching us. And he's like, I know y'all gotta go. But, if y'all can just give me a little, I'll let you go. And we're like, all right. So I think we gave him like a total of $10 combined with all three of us. We didn't have that much.
Yeah, I think I gave him like $3 or something like that. I mean, I didn't.
We gave him enough to at least get a meal or something.
I mean, I gave him enough to make him cry. I just remember he started crying after we gave him money.
And then after that, he's like, man, before y'all go, we need to pray. Get in the circle. We're going to pray. And I'm like, all right. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, you know how I'm going to pray? Now, I'm praying that I get some food because I'm hungry as hell.
No, and so then finally, Nick, he looks at Nick. He's like, man, say something, man. You going to lead this. And I'm like, all right. I don't know what you said, but you just said, hey,
Rub-a-dub-dub, thanks for the grub. Peace out.
Yeah, so then we said a quick prayer, and then he's like, all right, break. And then we all got in our separate directions, and that was that.
And then we told everybody about it. And that was only the first weird encounter of the day. Because then, remember, we were in the whatever tour we were going on next.
Yeah.
And we're just standing in there, and these random people are like, are you guys a choir?
Yeah.
Like,
oh, yeah, this was a school trip.
Yeah.
Remind you. Yeah.
School trip for choir. So we're standing in line waiting. I think we're at where were we at?
We were at
There's some concert venue that like used to be a church. I can't remember what it's called.
People from Nashville, if you're listening, are gonna be Grand Ole Opry, maybe.
No, we toured that after we saw the show.
It was some old like concert place that they turned into a museum.
Yeah. Anyways, we're touring in there, waiting to go watch some video or something, and this guy is like, oh, I see you guys are like a choir or something.
Yeah, because we all had to wear like choir shirts. And
yeah, it just calls us out, and he's like, why don't you sing a song?
And we're like,
why don't you fuck off? No, just kidding.
And our teacher was with us, and she's like, all right, gentlemen, take it from the top. And
we just sang, God Bless America or something like that.
Yeah, and the guy started tearing up, and I'm like, oh my God, you're one of these people. I'd hate to go to a concert with you.
Oh, bang, 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 bang.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what.
You know, honestly, for being in the South and like a place notorious for cowboys and stuff like that, I did not see that many.
We went to a boot store.
We did.
Hats and boots.
Oh, yeah. And then we walked next door, and there's another one.
Yeah. There's boot stores everywhere.
I remember we made Carter try on those boots. They're like size 15.
Yeah, and then he didn't get them.
He pulls them out of the box.
I remember that Carter also spit out his tea and put it back in the freaking...
He swallowed the one gulp, and then he was like, I thought it was Dr. Pepper, and pours it back in the pitcher.
Okay, let's explain that. So we'd always stop at a restaurant for lunch or dinner since we're in Nashville. And all that we've been getting served is either water or tea.
Which is pretty much guaranteed in the South.
Yeah. And so this kid, he picks up the jar filled with tea, pours it into his cup, and then he drinks, he's like, ugh. And then he pours it back into the jar, and he's like, I thought that was Dr. Pepper. I'm like, why the hell? Like, we're in Nashville, and we're in down south, where people are notorious for drinking sweet tea. Why the hell did you think that it was going to be Dr. Pepper?
Yeah, this one time they just randomly bring us a picture of Dr. Pepper.
And this was the last day.
The dumbest.
Yeah. That wasn't the dumbest thing that happened there, though. So I feel like some other dumb stuff happened that we're just not remembering.
Well, we did have a 9-hour bus ride, so that probably...
Oh, that was... My bus was worse than yours. I will guarantee that. We got separated on the buses.
Who'd you have on your bus?
You know who I had on my bus.
I had CS on my bus.
I had... Oh my God, guys. I can't go to sleep. Oh my God. You know who it is. I'm not going to name names.
An S?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I had his...
No, he pulled out freaking sleeping pills. He's like, oh my God, I can't sleep. I'm like, yeah, because you need to shut the hell up and lie down.
Yeah, I had his clone on my bus.
Yeah, that wasn't fun either.
Yeah. And then you guys got to ride back on the bus.
Yeah, because
I went to Florida after that.
Yeah, you went to Florida, so me and JT snagged a bus. Better than what I had, I will tell you that.
Ooh, we should talk about the falling incident.
Wait, the one in the fall.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yep. I mean, you're gonna have to tell it because I wasn't there to experience it. But
okay.
I was there to experience the curtsy, though.
We're not gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about the fall.
Oh my! Let's just talk about the fall.
Okay, so on our last day, for some reason, we went to a plantation, which I'm already like, okay, I've never wanted to be at a plantation in my life, and I never want to go again. It's the most boring experience ever. But so we're at the plantation, which apparently only specialized in horses and not slaves. Bullshit. Come on now. and one of the volunteers for our group was with us. One of the parent volunteers was with us, and I just remember she's like, "All right, y'all, we gonna head into the plantation. Just watch your step on these here stairs. Are a little bit trippy today." As she says that, one of the volunteers starts walking up like one of the stairs. She hears, "Oh no!" and she falls backwards, back to where she started. And I'm like, "Ooh!" I'm like, I don't know if I should. I don't know what to do here. I'm like, there's already people helping you up. I'm like, speaking of falling, I got another story for later. This is the most boring story ever. You might think it's funny, but
What one?
the one that I'm telling now.
Oh, the one that.
The one that you just make me tell.
Oh.
I feel like I just did a really shitty job at explaining it.
It's more of a you had to be there type of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I can't do it justice. Like, you had to be there.
But did you have to be there? Because when you told me it, I thought it was pretty funny.
Oh, yeah.
But then again, I know the person that fell. So
yeah,
that
like, I don't want to go into detail because they were a pretty nice person. But
yeah.
another thing they did when they got in, so we're exploring the plantation inside the main house, the master's house. And she's like, yeah, this is some beautiful decor. You see, there's lots of pictures of horses. And I'm like, I look over to the kid next to me. I'm like, yeah, you know they replaced this whole horse thing. I'm like, horse is just a keyword for slaves here, I guess. Like, there's no... I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? But our volunteer raises her hand, and she's like, were these shelves made by the slaves? I'm like, what? I'm like, she's like, I don't know. We specialize in horses. And I'm like, yeah, you definitely specialized in horses, quote unquote. You definitely got all your money from these horses.
Yeah.
Yeah. That I've never heard a bigger excuse in my life as to why a plantation was running, like, during the Civil War and even before that. Yeah, we only had like one or two slaves here, but they helped with the horses.
And they were paid well. In what, milk?
Yeah, are you kidding me? God. Should I tell the other falling story? You were there for this one. This is back in high school.
Oh, all right.
This is our first year of high school.
Okay.
So we took a class called Graphic Sound and Animation. You're already laughing because you know it.
Yeah. Ow.
Oh no. Okay, so we had these rolly chairs in the classroom, like these desk chairs, because we were just dealing with computers. So like we would just like roll around and shit. The teacher put me with the most annoying person in the room. This girl would never shut up. She was a grade above us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she would just always talk and say the dumbest things, and she'd like a lot of our projects were in Photoshop, and instead of like copy and pasting images and like kind of editing them, she would get like the marker tool in Photoshop and start drawing her own designs, which is cool, but when you're in a class and stuff is due, like, it's not gonna work.
Yeah, and when
she had like 3 missing assignments or something like that.
Yeah, when we get to the final and you're still on the first project, you know you need to.
Well, she never made it to the final. We'll say that right now.
Yeah.
And so like you were in my row, like so basically the computers were in rows. Like there's 4 computers in a row, and basically Nick was at the end of our row near the wall, and I was kind of in the middle. Or no, I was at the front of the row. And this chick sat next to me, and I remember one day we were working on something, and she's like, "Hey, you like my design?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, it looks good." She's like, "It's a chupacabra." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Bless you. What did you say?" And she's like, "No, I didn't stutter. It's a chupacabra." I'm like, "What's that?"
The reason that I'm just peaked and laughing here is because after she said that became her permanent nickname.
Yeah, we just called her Chupacabra because we didn't even know her name. I just looked over
to Wesley. It became to the point where it got like so serious of a nickname that I just look over to Wesley and be like, "Chupacabra here today?" And I'd straight face, and he'd just be like, "Yep, think so."
Saw her in the hall like a couple minutes before.
Yeah, saw her flying through the halls.
Yeah, like, dude, she would just never shut up. And, like, I don't know, like, she clearly had friends, so it's not like she was trying to be buddy-buddy with us or anything. Like, she had friends. But, I don't know, it's a personal pet peeve. Just don't talk to me that much if we're not close friends. Or if, like, I don't know, I'm trying to say this without being a dick. Just don't be annoying. Don't. Please.
There's a difference between, like, engaging in conversation with someone that you don't know and then just, like, overdoing it.
Yeah, like,
especially when it's
if she
not,
would have
like,
engaged in, like, one conversation a day with me, that'd be fine. But, like, tapping me on the shoulder, like, chupacabra, chupacabra, like,
yeah,
that's
and say we don't know each other, but then I just am like, so the weather's, like, nice, or it's getting nicer, or, like, did you see this sports thing or something?
Yeah, that's fine.
That's a different story. But when you're talking about a mystical bat human thing,
it's like a naked
every
dog
day?
or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I had to because, like, she said it, and then I'm like, what is it? So I pulled up Google, and I'm like, I started typing it, and I guess I spelled it wrong. Like, it's not spelled how you think, I guess. I don't know. So I'm like, put this in. I want to know what you're talking about. It's like a Mexican werewolf or some shit like that. Like, that's basically what it is. And I'm like, is there a movie about it or something? Is that why? She's like, oh, no, they're real. I'm like, oh, okay. So one day, like, I'm just like, I have a terrible headache. I'm just not, whenever I feel sick, I just don't communicate really. I just keep to myself, just try to get through the day. And Nick's like, hey, Chupacabra's here today. He's like, just get ready. And I'm like, all right. God, if I would have known what would have happened next. Oh my God. So she comes in and she starts talking. I don't know what she's saying. She pulls out her rolly chair and she goes to sit down. But then somehow the chair goes out a little bit farther, and she didn't know this, and I didn't know this, so I didn't warn her because I didn't see the chair go out further.
But would you have warned her if you knew?
I would have pushed it in a little. I'm not a complete asshole. I would have pushed it in a little bit. Like, I know she's annoying, but I'm not just gonna be like, yes, fall, do it. Like I would have helped her out. But what happened was she goes to sit down. The chair falls out. She's like, oh, and she, Homer Simpson, falls down. That's not bad enough for her. As she goes down, somehow, like, she smacks her back on the edge of the chair, which makes her smack her head onto her keyboard and desk. And she's on the floor, and I'm like, oh. Yeah, I'm like, holy shit. And she's like, I don't look down, because we're far past the point where I can go.
No, at this point, we're just fucking dying laughing.
I can't laugh, because you're at least 2 seats away from her. I'm right next to her. So I just keep working on my project because I don't know what to do. And this is what I hear. And, like, I'm just hearing these groans. And everybody in the class is looking at, like, my row. And, like, everyone is just smirking and, like, holding it in. I look like that meme of the kid, like with the red face and, like, the veins are bulging. Like, I look like that kid because I'm, like, just typing on my computer, and the teacher's next to me. She's like, oh, Chupacabra, are you okay?
She called her by her actual name.
Yeah, but
it would have been hilarious if she would have
oh my God,
her.
Chupacabra, are you okay? Oh!
What?
She sounded like a damn Chupacabra.
But everybody groaning, and she's like, wait, what'd you call me? Oh, nothing.
Oh. She sounded like the grape lady. If you've seen that video on YouTube, the girl who's stomping on grapes, and then she falls off and goes, oh. She starts doing that. And so the teacher's like, are you okay? She's like, oh, my back, my face, my neck, my back. Oh.
Like that song.
Yeah. So I'm still typing on the computer. She's like, okay, I'm going to call the nurse. She's like, oh, get the wheelchair. Oh. I'm like, oh my God. And I'm going to tell a joke at my expense here soon since I'm cutting pretty deep into this girl right now. But the nurse comes in like the fucking Flash, just rooms in with the wheelchair. I'm like, oh my God, this is really happening.
The nurse was not in the wheelchair. She was pushing the
yeah,
wheelchair.
she's pushing the wheelchair. And she gets in the wheelchair and they go flying down the hall and the teacher goes with them. So then I finally start laughing. But by the time I start laughing, everybody else is done and I just look like a complete dick. Well, actually, you're still laughing. You're just facing the wall so no one can hear you.
My hand was over my mouth. And
no, and like someone across is like, "Did you push your chair out?" I'm like, "I didn't touch shit. Like I didn't do anything. Like I was
Go ahead, blame the black guy."
I'm like, I was literally typing on my computer until I noticed that my desk started shaking, and I realized that she was on the floor, and I'm like, oh.
And then the earth started shaking, and
dude, no, like at first I thought like something smacked the desk or something, and I realized something did smack the desk. It was her face. But yeah, she didn't show up to class for like 3 weeks, and then she dropped it because she was already behind on a bunch of stuff.
Which is funny because the teacher was like, she was like, "Oh, can I keep taking this class?" And the teacher's like, "No."
She's like, "I don't know why you would." She's like, "You're at a D-. You haven't turned in anything." And
you're
she's
at a
like,
D-.
okay.
You're still on the third project, and we're already moved on to almost the final.
Yeah.
Might as well drop.
Yeah.
She's not the only weird person at our high school, though. There's also Velociraptor, who would sprint, and when I say sprint, I mean sprint. Down the hallway.
Yeah.
Arms cocked like a T-Rex, hovered down, like seriously almost hit me 4 or 5 times throughout my whole high school career.
I'm trying to think about who that was. Don't describe him. You can describe him to me later. Yeah,
First name.
I'm gonna need more, but we can talk about it later.
All right, yeah,
we're not about to expose people on this podcast. That guy Andy's a freaking idiot.
Maybe later.
Oh,
now,
I should tell the story about what happened to me my senior year. So, I just roasted that girl pretty hard with that story. I think to make it fair, I'll tell an embarrassing story that happened to me. So, one day, this is the worst. Oh, man, it's going to be weird to tell this. I don't know if I told you the full story. So, I'm in choir one day, and it's, like, we're halfway through the class. Like, we're almost done. And so, like, all of a sudden, my knees buckle, and I'm like, oh, shit. Like, I've never passed out in my life. So, I don't know what the feeling's like. And so, I'm like, oh, shit. I'm like, am I about to pass out? And so, I go to sit down for, like, a quick second. But then my knees completely give out. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going down. Like, I'm just like, all right. I accept it, and I go down, and I smack the girl behind me with the back of my head. She's like, oh! And JT's like, are you all right? And, like, my ears just go tone deaf. I'm like, what? Like, I can't hear. And the teacher's like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine. I'm like, I think I passed out for a second. Did I pass out? And she's like, yeah, you did. She's like, why don't you get a seat? We'll get the nurse. She'll bring the wheelchair. And I'm like, no, I'm like, I'm fine. Keep me in, coach. I can finish off strong. Like, I was perfectly fine. I don't know, like, what happened. Like, I've never passed out in my life. But, yeah, I just remember going down, and the kid behind me was like, man, I'm sorry I didn't catch you. I'm like, oh, no, I wouldn't have caught me either, man. Like, let me fall. Fuck it, I don't care.
You're just like he didn't sidestep you.
Well, like, I didn't, like, fall completely backwards like a plank. Like, I just sat down. But as I was going to sit down, like, my legs fully gave out. So I was, like, mid-squat, and then I finally just went back. So it didn't really do anything. But then the nurse comes in, and she's like, all right, get in the wheelchair. We're going to sprint to my office. I'm like, I'm fine. I'm like, I can walk to the office. Like I feel completely fine. She's like, no, it's school policy. If you pass out, you need to be in a wheelchair. I'm like, oh my God. So she wheels me out in front of everybody, and like, she literally full sprints down the hallway to our office. And I'm like, this is the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to me. Like, I'm just like, oh my God.
At least it wasn't like passing period.
No, that would have been worse. But long story short, they actually just let me drive home. They let a kid who just passed out drive home, expecting that he wouldn't have another episode on the way back.
Like, oh,
He'll be fine.
just had a seizure. Go ahead and drive home.
Just go drive home. You're
good.
fine, bud.
You're good.
Yeah, that's basically that. Told a story at my expense to make myself
I
not
mean,
seem like a
I
complete
would
dick.
tell a story at my expense,
But there's not.
but
You haven't done anything.
I mean, I don't really have like any recent stories
No.
that
I think the worst that happened to you is when you slid on that ice and landed completely on your ass. Years ago, though.
But I mean, when you live in Iowa, that's kind of expected.
That's the most dramatic thing that's ever happened to me. Passing out in choir. The worst place to pass out, may I add, because you don't do anything. Like, what would make you pass out? Sing more. I can't. Oh. Just pass out immediately.
One time in show choir, I was performing, and the outside, like, so for our ballad one year, I had to sit down on the stage, like second row, maybe first, so that the crowd could see me. The outside leg from my knee to my waist rips.
Oh, wait, your pants?
My pants.
Yeah. Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, so I'm sitting there, and I'm just casually gripping these pants to keep them from opening up and showing my bare ass leg. And then I'm like, okay, get up, get off stage. And then I'm like, oh, thank God. I asked people after in the crowd, like, could you tell that I ripped the shit out of my pants? And they were like, no, I mean, we couldn't tell. If you wouldn't have said anything, and we probably wouldn't have noticed. I was like, oh, well, great. I just ratted on myself. Another embarrassing moment was I threw up at Disney World.
Oh, yeah.
When I was like 10.
That's not too bad. You're 10.
Yeah. I made the horrible decision of eating Denny's for breakfast.
Ooh.
And then we go out and it's like hot, obviously, because it's in Florida. And I'm in the Hall of Presidents, and I throw up.
You saw George Bush and you threw up.
But I keep it in my mouth. My dad's like, are you all right? Just open my mouth, show him. He's like, oh, okay. Little did I know that if you have a bathroom emergency and you're really looking for a bathroom, at Disney World you have to go like a fucking mile. I literally walked like probably at least a mile and a half with this vomit in my mouth. Spit it out in the bathroom. I'm like, all right, I'm good. Watch the parade. Get in line for the Haunted Mansion. I'm standing here, like, oh, feeling good. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh, shit hit the fan. Just yacked, full puddle, all over, and everybody just was like, oh shit, and just like split. And then the Disney janitors had to come and
you did what I did like 2 weeks ago in the gym. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I'll talk about that. So I was at the gym with this guy, and I made the serious mistake of eating before I went to work out because I forgot you need to eat like at least an hour or two before.
Yeah, but not only that, you also ate Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yeah.
Which.
Well, I was okay. So yeah,
this was the first time you were working out with us, though. So
yeah. So I completely forgot about that rule because it's been a while, and like we're doing a couple sets, like we're halfway through, and
yeah, we're like a circuit away from being done.
Yeah, and so I like burps were coming up, and I'm like, I'm fine. I'm like, it's just the Cinnamon Toast Crunch, like just the flavors coming up a little bit. And so like we're taking like a small little break before we finish, and I'm sitting down, and I go, like I have a little burp, a little comes up, and I'm like, oh no. And the garbage is right around the corner too. And then I'm like, and like a full pallet of Cinnamon Toast Crunch comes up. So I put my hand over my mouth and I bolt it to the corner. But as soon as I stand up, it's like, oh, time to go. And all of it just comes up through my fingers, and I'm like, oh no. And I feel better instantly. Like I'm like, all right, I just threw up in the gym, but nobody noticed. Everybody's too busy looking at themselves in the mirror while they lift weights. So I'm like, all right. And you come over, you're like, hey. Like, oh, some idiot just threw up in the gym. I'm like, yeah, that was me. He's like, oh, shit.
So then I go and find someone. And I
owner, finished the set, by the way. Like,
he finished the workout. But the owner there is like this short, bald, weird looking dude. And I get somebody, and then he's up there working out. And the guy goes over and he's like, yeah, somebody threw up in the gym. And the guy was like, oh, well, that's not the place to do it. I'm just thinking,
eat a bowl of CT Crunch and see what happens.
I'm just thinking, okay, when have you ever, like, gone to throw up and just been like, I feel like I'm going to throw up. But let me wait till I get to an appropriate spot to do it.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Like, I felt instantly better after I did it. So it's not like I was like, oh, I don't feel like. Yeah. Oh, wait. No, I threw up again, but I got home. Like, I remember I was just sitting home. I'm like, oh, I'm not done yet. And I just went to the bathroom and finished off the set.
That's not the first encounter that I've had with that guy, though. Like, he just always seems to be in a bad mood for some reason, and I don't know why.
Well, he works at a gym, and he can't lift while he works. That's probably why.
Yeah, but, I mean, he owns the gym, so he's obviously making money from it. And he can just work out when he's there.
Well, it was like 6:30 in the morning, too, or something like that. 8:30.
Yeah, it was pretty early.
Too early to be doing some dumbass puking in your gym.
Should we shout ourselves out again?
Oh, yeah. You are currently listening to 1, 2, 3 Totally Rad
Podcast.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
This podcast is totally rad.
Not to mention that we also have a main channel
called Totally Rad, but without the podcast.
That's just a side thing.
If I ever decide to upload.
Yeah.
Which I have a video that we're going to upload soon, and then we're going to film something here probably this week.
Yeah, well, I mean, we got done with class and stuff, so we've got some more time on our hands where we can get some more content out. But
should we talk about what we're maybe gonna film?
So the video that we're kind of like probably gonna upload soon is we just went back and watched like old childhood cartoons,
seeing if they held up, and it was pretty cringy to say the least.
Yeah, like going back and looking, I can't believe some of the stuff that used to happen in old cartoons.
Oh yeah.
So that's pretty much like the majority of what we do, though.
Mm-hmm.
Just like watch videos and kind of talk about it.
We're basically like a commentary channel.
Yeah.
I think like there's two topics I want to talk about. Like, one is Lele Pons. She like one of the worst Instagram comedians that I've seen in my life, and I don't know how she's making money still. Like I found out she has a production company, or that's why she keeps making videos. She's part of a production company.
So she has like a quota.
Or they gave her a quota. I don't know. Because it's like some guy that hired all the Viners when Vine shut down. Oh. So he hired like a group of them, and he gives them like grade A production equipment. And it's basically like giving a gun to a monkey. It's one of the worst decisions that you can possibly make. Like, their content is just utter freaking trash.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've seen that with her, obviously, and then
King Batch isn't really funny.
Yeah, he's funny for 6 seconds.
That's as long as I can tolerate King Bat. I almost called him Kim Batch.
Kim Jong Batch.
And then I saw this video on YouTube, an ad. It was like this thing that an app that you can download on your phone to track your kids and look at their text. It's like a spy app.
Yeah.
And the It's super weird. Like, you can view your kids' texts. You can see where they've gone. I don't know what else you can do, but I feel like it doesn't work at all. I'm going to download the app and see if it works and make a video on it.
Yeah.
I think that'd be... And the commercial's super weird. Like, it starts out like this mom and dad, and they're like, so, boys, how was school today? And then it shows that they were at, like, a bunch of different locations, and they're like, pretty good. And it's like, well, according to this, it says you were at Chuck E. Cheese or wherever they were at. I don't know. They were playing pool somewhere. I don't know. And they're like, oh, we're not going to skip again. They're like, you're damn right you're not. And, like, it just shows, like, a bunch of other examples. Like, it's so weird.
Yeah, there's another thing that's like that too, where it's like, if you get into an Uber and you feel like your driver's pretty sketchy,
yeah,
you have to hold your finger on this button the entire time,
and then release it when shit goes down.
Once you get out, or like whatever. But I guess I don't understand, like, what if you want to look at your phone, or what if you want to, or what if your finger
all of a sudden
slips?
The cops start following you. What's going on here? I don't know. I have an app and I moved my finger. Oh no!
And you look sketchy. And
what?
I offered you snacks.
I'm sorry. You just look like Jared from Subway, and I just can't trust you right now. Okay?
Not trying to get that 12 inches.
I'm just not hungry for a footlong right now. Okay?
Jared from Subway. That's an old topic.
Yeah. So is Bill Cosby.
Well,
this was really like
recently,
he was found guilty.
Yeah, recently he's found guilty.
There's a thing I saw online where it's like one of the stand-ups, he was talking about like putting women under or something like that, or like something to that effect. I'm not going to quote it entirely because I don't remember, but he was talking about like there's a substance that you can give women and it makes them tipsy and something like that. And like looking back at it now, it's like, damn. Kenan Thompson came out about Bill Cosby. Kenan Thompson's from SNL.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
He played there was a Fat Albert movie a couple years ago, and Kenan Thompson was Fat Albert. And after the movie wrapped, Bill Cosby produced the movie because he made the original cartoon, I guess. Mm-hmm. And apparently he was just a major creep around like all the female cast members and stuff. And he's like, I just never put two and two together. I just thought he was old and
weird.
Like he was just old and horny, but I didn't think he'd do anything like that. Like, it's weird. Like I don't think anybody would expect that from him. And that's like kind of why he got away with it for so many years. Like originally people were like, oh no, he couldn't have done that. He's a dad who wears a sweater. He can't do that.
I think that's why it was so traumatizing, is because he was like a childhood star for a lot of people. Yeah. And so they were like, kind of saw him as this persona that he played on TV and could never really see him as like a...
Yeah. Like even like after his show was canceled, like people still looked up to him and stuff like that. And then like all these allegations came out and they're like, damn. We'll cut out this silence.
2017 was really the year of allegations, though.
Oh yeah, like with Weinstein and all that. Like even Quentin Tarantino has some allegations come out about him. Like only slight ones, like while he was filming. But I don't remember like exactly what they were.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it kind of kick-started, and then it was like...
I think Weinstein really pushed it, where like people started coming out with more allegations, and a lot of them were true. Like that guy just seemed like a garbage human being.
Yeah, and then after his came out, then everybody else was like, "Oh, well, this happened to me, and all this stuff." And it's like, then again, a lot of the ones that people came out with were like, "Well, 30 years ago, 40 years ago." Yeah. Like, okay, well, these people weren't famous, so now it really just looks like you
T.J. Miller. Like a lot of stuff came out about him, and he made a fake bomb threat the other day.
Really?
On a train. Like apparently, he called the cops and made a bomb, and said that there was a bomb on his train. That this lady had a bomb in her suitcase. Mm-hmm. Apparently, he was just really drunk, and this lady took his seat or something. So he called the cops and made a bomb threat.
That's weird.
I know. Like, a lot of, like, TJ Miller, like, he's been getting kicked off a bunch of shows because, like, also, like, sexual harassment. A lot of stuff has been coming up with him. So, like he's in that Ready Player One movie.
Mm-hmm.
They cut out, like, a lot of his stuff.
Like, after the stuff came out?
Yeah.
That's the same thing that happened with, like, Kevin Spacey and stuff. They canceled his shows, kicked him out of his movies that were coming up and all that. But...
like, and they recast him as someone else or something like that. Like, I think Kevin Spacey's is more disturbing, like what happened with him, which I don't want to get into.
Yeah. All right, let's just talk about Avengers. So,
Well,
I think okay. Yeah, so
spoilers for Avengers. If you have not seen the movie, you can just click off. You don't have to listen anymore. I'm Wesley. That's Nick. That's the end of the podcast. But if you have seen the movie, stick around to hear our thoughts.
Yeah.
Or if you don't care.
Okay, so I wrote down like the 3 big predictions that we made last podcast on what was going to happen. And one of them was that Black Panther won't die.
Mm-hmm.
He does.
Yep.
Captain America will die.
He doesn't.
He doesn't. And Hawkeye will be in the movie somewhere, but separate. He's not in the movie.
He's not in the movie at all.
Yeah, those were the 3 big ones that we made that were incorrect.
What did you think of the movie overall?
I thought it was good overall, honestly.
Yeah.
I thought they did a really good job. I was a little pissed by how it all played out. I thought it was pretty dumb that Thanos got like all the stones.
But then again, like, they set it up for next one to where they can beat him, I guess.
Yeah.
I was expecting this would be a one and done, and that'd be it. But it's a part 1, part 2, I guess.
I mean, it definitely set up excitement for next time.
Yeah.
For sure. What else did I not like? Well, okay. I also didn't like the people that I was in the theater with.
Oh my God. We went on like a Thursday night, like the midnight premiere. But we went at like 9 o'clock, so it wouldn't be crazy.
Yeah, there's just like a ton of shows on the night of the premiere, but we went to like an earlier show so that we weren't up super late. And it was like, we learned our lesson about premieres for sure. It was all Marvel nerds who were like, stick by the
if you like
comic
Marvel,
books.
it's whatever. But like, don't be talking and cheering through the movie when like one thing happens.
Yeah, they would
like,
cheer at everything.
Every time a character would come up that you saw in a scene previously, they're like, woo! Stop it.
Especially,
get some help.
Here's a big spoiler. All the nerds that were left at the end, when they show the scene with Nick Fury, when he's starting to fade away, and then he drops the thing, and then it sets up for the Captain Marvel movie.
Yeah.
And their signal shows up.
And everybody went crazy.
Yeah.
I was like, I just went, okay. I didn't go like insane over it because it's like it didn't show me anything. Like if it showed me something mind blowing, I would be like, all right. But everybody's like, whoa! It's like, oh my God.
I liked the way they set it up though. My thought is that Star-Lord is gonna find Gamora.
There's no way she's actually dead.
And then all the dust people are gonna come back. And he's going to take her to Wakanda, and then they're going to find a way to revive her.
Well, Star-Lord's already dead.
Well,
he disappeared.
Yeah, but I guess once they come back,
well,
apparently the remaining people figure out what to do.
I'm glad they left Rocket. There's only like one Guardian left out of the whole team.
It was really weird. Oh, did Groot disappear too?
Yeah. Because did you also notice the only people that survived were the original team members from the first movie?
Really?
Yeah. All the new characters are gone. It's only the original Avengers and then like Rocket and Gamora's sister, who I can't remember.
Nova, I think is her name.
Something with an N. Nebula. That's what it is.
Yep. Yeah, sorry for any Marvel nerds that would be listening to this that are gonna bash our shit for getting that wrong.
Yeah.
So who was left? Captain America, Iron Man, Hulk,
Black Widow.
And Black Widow, and then Hawkeye wasn't in it.
Ant-Man wasn't in it. I bet he'll be in the next one somehow.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to be as many characters next time, so I feel like they'll fit him in.
They were setting up for his second movie.
That movie has to take place before this one. There's no way, like.
Or like when that gets to the end,
it's gonna lead into.
He'll either fade away, or he'll figure like you'll see something that
they'll call him or something like that.
Yeah.
I saw this online. Like, a lot of people are really pissed at Star-Lord because he's the reason why the movie ended the way it did, and like I kind of agree, but I don't, because I feel like it's something that his character would do. Like, he'd find a way to screw it up.
Yeah, and that's kind of the essence of his character. And then again, like what we were talking about with Ant-Man, it's like how they could do it is like, okay, he's friends with a scientist. These people start fading away, and this scientist knows something that's gonna get him back. Or like, didn't he say? Isn't there a way that they were gonna go back in time or something? Because his wife is
something like, oh yeah, because she's in that like small. I think that's what the second one's about. They're gonna go in there and get his wife or something.
Yeah, 'cause she was like stuck from shrinking too small or something like that. Yeah. But
yeah, like they almost had the glove off, and then Star-Lord got pissed because he found out that Gamora died.
Yeah.
And then Thanos put the glove back on, and I was like, oh, so close. But a lot of people are mad, and I'm like out of all the characters I would screw it up, I'm like, it was either going to be him or Drax, because Drax even screwed up at the beginning too.
Yeah. So
I feel like it would have been either one of them, or someone else would have done it.
I did like how they brought those characters in, though.
Yeah.
I felt like it was worth the time.
I thought it was funny when they met Thor.
Yeah.
Thor I think he was in the movie the most, like him and Thanos and Iron Man.
In the movie rivalry between Thor and Star-Lord,
and they call him fat.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny. I think like it was very surprising like how the movie was about the villain and not the heroes. Like you saw more of him and his motivation to where you understand, but at the same time you still know that it's not the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Like it starts with him and then it ends with him. I think that's really interesting.
If they could make like 2 more movies, it would be interesting if they just replayed it but showed like
a different side,
everything from a different person's point of view.
Because I feel like Captain America did nothing in the movie. Like his whole side, like they didn't do any. Like I don't remember anything they really did.
No, because you're really watching it from like Iron Man from his side.
It's him and Thor because they had the most to do.
And in the previous movie, it was like they had a fight with Captain America and Iron Man, so they weren't on speaking terms.
Yeah. I feel like the next one, we'll get more of him, I guess, but
I thought it was pretty badass when they had to make Thor a new hammer.
Yeah.
And he finishes it, and then Groot cuts his arm off to make the handle for it.
I didn't know. Oh, Peter Dinklage is in the movie as a dwarf, but he's huge.
Yeah. That
was cool.
One thing that I wish they would have done, which is such a minor thing, but I really liked how in Thor Ragnarok, like on all the fight scenes, they played the Immigrant Song by Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, they didn't do that.
That song,
they played everybody's theme song but that, and I feel like that song was perfect for Thor.
Yeah, that song like made all the fight scenes really, really cool. Yeah. And he had his big fight scene when he comes back, and of course all the nerds were clapping for it. But they should have played this song. That would have made it way cooler.
They should have you just hear the drums starting up slowly, and you're like, oh shit. Yeah, dude, that would have been dope. What else happened that was really cool?
I did like Iron Man's new suit.
Yeah.
They were saying, I was looking at this thing like on YouTube that was like things you need to know before you see Infinity War, and one of the things was like that new thing in his chest is supposed to be something from the comics that's like...
It's like a whole suit in like that little chest plate.
Yeah, and it's like a skinnier suit.
It reminds me of like Black Panther, how the suit just forms on him like that.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And then the Iron Spider.
That looked cool.
That was pretty sweet. With the 4 legs.
Yeah.
They're saying that's like a throwback to the comics too.
I thought it was cool how like Thanos just completely kicks the Hulk's ass in like the first 5 minutes, and then he doesn't show up for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
Because apparently he's like scared of him or something like that because he lost so badly.
That was pretty funny how they used that as like kind of comedy relief.
Yeah.
How he could get Hulk to come out and he's like, "Come on."
No.
And then he well then it's really weird cuz then you have Bruce Banner that ends up in the giant suit,
yeah.
the Iron Man suit. And he finishes the movie in that.
Yeah. He actually like holds his own in the suit without the Hulk at all, which is pretty cool, I guess. Like it's a nice change.
Yeah.
Anything else before we end it?
I think we pretty much covered everything
Like
in the movie. Can't really remember anything. It was kind of weird how late they introduced Black Panther.
Yeah. Yeah. But then again, like he had his own movie, so it felt like it's like you already know who he is. Like you don't need to know what he's up to.
Yeah, because I since we were having such a problem with the cheering, I leaned over to JT at that portion, and I'm like, okay, let's run through it. Did everybody get introduced? And we're like, yeah, I think so.
And then we're like, oh,
right
shit,
when we
Black
finished,
Panther,
Black Panther
yeah.
pops up, and everyone's like, woo! And yeah, it was ridiculous.
Like I get being excited for this movie.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you're in a theater with other people,
Be
you don't need to.
respectful,
Yeah,
like-
you don't need to clap every 10 seconds that something happens. Like people are trying to like a lot of people were even like, all right, we're just trying to watch the movie. Like you can cheer sometimes. I get that.
And it's not even that they were cheering for just the appearances. It was like they would hoop and holler for the
Yeah, that's where it got annoying.
for
Like
the jokes and stuff.
yeah, like I get laughing at a joke, especially in a comedy movie. Like that is
Yeah.
perfectly fine. But like after the joke's told, you still hear someone going, "That was great." I know.
We know it's great. Marvel movies always have great comedic timing, unlike DC. Don't at me.
Dude,
And
those movies suck.
oh yeah, by the way, don't at me means like I said something, but don't come and try and talk to me about it.
Yeah, Nick's dad, that's what that means. If you're still listening.
I don't know if he's seen it yet or not. I mean, I would assume he has by now, but last time he asked me if I had seen it, and I said, yeah, I just saw it, and he was still on the bandwagon of non-seers, so
Dang.
I would hope that he had seen it by now.
Well, now we have, A Quiet Place and Deadpool to watch now.
Deadpool comes out pretty soon.
I think like a week or two. We're not going on midnight, I can tell you that.
No.
Well, especially since it's a comedy movie, they're going to be hooping and hollering at everything along with the jokes, because it's just going to be full of jokes.
Yeah.
That's not going to be fun.
Yeah, I can, and that's one I can wait on. There's
I'm
like
not as excited as that.
Storyline. Not like Avengers where it's like
It's
okay,
been
they
building
left us
up to
hanging.
it.
Yeah. There's a 10 o'clock showing of A Quiet Place tonight.
Might have to hit it up.
Mm-hmm.
We can talk about it after, but we're going to be super late. Speaking of movies that are super late, I still haven't seen Get Out.
Really?
Really.
I would see that.
I know. I already have the twist spoiled for me. So at this point, I'm like, I'll see it when I see it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good movie
Yeah,
overall.
like it's not like I don't want to see it. It's like the amount of shit that I've been doing, like for like the school year. Like I've only been able to like watch one movie every month, like in the or not one movie every month. Like only have had time to sit down for like one movie, and it's a movie that like I've either seen and I want to see it again, or I want to see something else. And Get Out's on my list. Like
Yeah.
especially now that I'm out of school, like I'm gonna watch it eventually.
It's definitely worth the watch, for sure.
I mean, Jordan Peele got an Oscar for the script.
Yeah. So, I think that's everything
Yeah.
that I want to talk about, so.
Yeah. All right, well, we're going to wrap up the podcast. If you have any questions, you want to email us, we're at totallyradpodcast@gmail.com. I'm Wesley.
And I'm Nick.
We are going to be posting on the main Totally Rad channel, which we will put in the description. Yeah, and we'll see you sometime this or next week.
Peace.